Okay, welcome to Real Talk with Glenn and John. You'll meet John in a second. And man, we are so excited. We are elated to finally, after all these years, start this podcast. We've titled it Real Talk, so we're going to keep it real. We want to get down to the nuts and bolts of real life issues. We know that it's difficult. Life is about solving problems through communication because life is relational. And most importantly, we want to know what you all have to say, what your questions are, your comments. We want to know what to talk about, and we want to get it out there. We want to help. And so we're elated to get this off the ground. We want to welcome you to the journey. Stay tuned. See you soon.
Nice,
Boom.
nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Welcome
what's up?
back, everybody. Welcome,
What's up?
welcome back to Real Talk for now.
Yeah, yeah.
So we call it, and we're happy to bring another message today of
Mm-hmm.
hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hope, the anchor of the soul, hope, and
Mm.
that if we can do it, you can do it, and that's the message. We want to get that out. We want to relay that life we can do it. We can solve problems. We can learn how to get through these issues, specifically early on in recovery. Any kind of newcomer, anybody that's trying marriage, life, for whatever it is, that we can get through these issues, and we want to talk about them. We want to
Mm.
make it practical and make it real. So
Yeah,
I want to welcome everybody.
yeah,
And Johnny, good to see you, my friend.
yeah. You too.
And yes,
Yeah.
it, it's uh it's real today. We're moving along. What do you what's on your mind? What do you got this morning?
Well, this is the first day that in our stages in our recovery, you're going to have life on life terms. There is going to be day like today. I have Fridays off, so I was able to just relax and kind of be still for a little while. We talked about that this morning, and I'm grateful for that. Um, and I need to. There's a balance that I've learned over the years of not too high, emotional sobriety, not too high, not too low. There has to be like right in the middle, and it takes time, and we talk about things I must earn,
Yep.
right? As time goes on, I'm learning to pause a lot more. Just and when things are not going right, and just take it easy, slow down. The way that I speak, the tone of my voice. I don't need to get all frustrated because things are not going my way. It's just there's a reason, and the Lord puts these things in my way. It's not a mistake. It's not something that's going wrong. It's just that there's things that I have to go through. That it's a trial of learning how to handle situations that baffle me. We talk about that also.
That's right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I'm a little bit at peace today, and I'm grateful on so many levels. But other
That's
than that,
awesome.
it's good. Yep,
Beautiful, beautiful.
yep, yep.
Well, what we're gonna do is for the audience, we're gonna do our first call in. We got somebody standing by waiting to come in,
What?
and
Our
we want to get a
first,
little outside information on what other people think and believe, and
our
so we want to invite him into it.
uh-huh, uh-huh. This is our
And
first. This is our first guest on the show.
yeah, and our guest is, oh, I think he's back.
Is he?
I think so. Yep.
Okay.
Boom. And there he is.
Chino.
Welcome. Welcome to Real Talk, my friend,
Hey, oh.
my brother. You got
Uh, there you go.
Good morning, guys.
there
Thanks
you
for
go.
having me on. Johnny, I heard a lot about you. It's nice to see your face matched up with the name. Um, Thanks for having me on. So I was having some difficulty with my speaker. I had to actually log out and come back in. So I kind of missed your whole introduction. Um, but I'm here and I'm ready to contribute in any way I can. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we titled our podcast "Real Talk" for now, and we're targeting a newcomer mostly, and but we want to know. We have uh, a, a, a great passion to understand what people questions that people have, comments, ideas, and thoughts about their journey. And so for yours specifically, not just so much what you would say to the newcomer, but as far as accountability or the importance of it, and what that means to you.
Yeah. Um, Basically, I didn't really start to learn about accountability until I got into Celebrate Recovery. You hear about it in the church, and you hear about passages of scripture. For example, in Ecclesiastics, it says two are two are better than one. If one falls down, you can't get up unless you have somebody else to help you up. And the other one that comes to mind is a three-stranded cord is not as easily as broken as a single-stranded cord. Well, that makes sense if you picture a piece of twine and a mooring line that has three braids in it, which is guy actually holds ships up against the dock. And so I kind of like to use that analogy about
Yeah.
accountability. Um, it was even more, like I said, I heard about it in church, but it wasn't until I got into recovery that it really started to anchor, if you would use the term, anchor myself into how important accountability is. And then the best way that I could uh, tell people is just sharing from one of my own experiences. And I'm not going to get graphic, but there was a time when I was struggling with a certain um, habit and hang up, and um, that I was on the computer and I was all ready to go into a website that wasn't productive, and I got a phone call. And at that very moment, I got a phone call, and it was one of my brothers, and he was just calling me because God had placed it on his heart to talk to me and see how I was doing. And that phone call prevented me from going down that road that I shouldn't have gone on. And ever since that time, it has been fundamentally a daily practice for me to be accountable, not only to the Lord, to myself, but to other people, and to value um, their thoughts and feelings towards me, that what the Holy Spirit put on their heart. Um, and that's being obedient. That's what the Bible tells us to do. We're supposed to be obedient, um, and
Yeah.
to reach out to other people when the Holy Spirit puts it on our hearts. Or even if you don't have the Holy Spirit, when God works in people at all different times, and if He puts it on my heart to call somebody, or if He puts somebody's picture, I mean somebody's face in my head, I believe He wants me to call them and to just to check on them and see how they're doing. And not only that, they have words for me, I have words for them, words of encouragement. And that's what accountability has really done for me over time. It's just built me up and made me a lot stronger. And when I'm weak, somebody else is going to be stronger. And when somebody else is weak, maybe I could be that one to help them out down the road. So
Beautiful.
I could probably
Beautiful.
talk a lot more about it, but that's probably the one thing that stands out in my mind about it.
No, man. I mean, wow, Johnny, listen to that. Really, that's beautiful. Right out of Ecclesiastes 4, and what a beautiful scripture, and a great description of accountability, man. Gino, man, thank you. Appreciate you coming on and giving your insight.
Well, but before he goes, Gino, one of the things that I know about accountability, and I'll go on this real quick, is that the reason why me and Glenn call all the time for years now is because he hears the tones in my voice every day. I am not, he is grading my paper, and I know you're grading his paper, and you guys have talked. And what happens is when something is off, we're able to catch it quickly. Like, hey, what's going on? You all right? You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
To where it would actually 3, 4, 5 days if no one was around and would get worse. So that's accountability for me, just like you just said, 3 strings are better than one, right?
Yep.
That's very powerful.
Sure.
So,
And the easier
uh-oh,
We lost you.
I lost you.
We lost you, Gino.
You there?
All right. We lost you,
you
Gino.
guys
So we're
got
gonna let
Yeah.
we got you back.
it just yeah, okay, great. And the only thing I wanted to add before I go is that the more I get into the word, the more I am accountable, and the more other people communicate with me about their troubles, and it just gets easier and easier every single time. And
Yep.
that's what Jesus Christ has done for me. He's made it so much more easier for me to tell you guys uh, about my struggles, where I don't have to hide anything. And that's what he wants. He wants me to be open with him, and with
Yep.
myself, and with my brothers. And the
There
more
it
I
is.
do that, the more freedom I find.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Man, appreciate you, Gino, my brother. We love you,
Good,
man.
God
Thanks
bless
for
you
good,
being
guys.
on.
good seeing you, Gino.
Same here. Take care of
All
yourself.
right, bud.
Man, I mean, there it is. You see? There it is right there. And so, wow, what a great, a great insight, food for thought,
Yeah,
words to go on. And the battle continues to be in our mind. So in
yeah,
my mind is the battle. And I know the word tells me as a man thinketh, so he is. So, but I understand that in my mind, in my thinking, till my thinking changes, I'm going to continue to do the same things. And when people speak into my life, what Gino was saying, and we say all the time for the newcomer, so being teachable, letting somebody help, we need to be washed. We need to be brainwashed. We need to have the old thinking gone
yeah.
or the stinking thinking, and we have to have some new thinking, some new ideas. So, and that comes by way of predecessors speaking into our lives, allowing somebody to teach. And like I said before, they're just suggestions. Suggestions are free; they only cost you when you don't take them. And it's good because when we're caught in a jam, when we're thinking that we're a throwaway, then we're no good. It's not worth it. You might as well quit. It's too hard, just throw in the towel,
Yeah.
obviously there's something wrong with that. And so that's where we pick up the phone. That's where we reach out and somebody's able to speak some life. And in reference to the Lord, obviously the relationship that's developed with God in recovery. But first to come in and we know it's a full, it's a physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, washing and cleansing of
Hmm.
the old. And what was it? Everything. Now, the only thing that has to change in recovery is everything.
Yeah.
That's what it was said.
Well,
One
it
thing at a
start.
time.
When you're talking about recovery, and especially someone that is new, someone that might be listening right now, they're new, I have no idea what the heck we're talking about. Yeah, it just you're going through the emotions in the beginning, getting that crap out of your system, and it takes a while for you to feel again, right?
They're
It
still
takes a while.
detoxing.
Still detoxing,
Yeah, they're
and it
still
take
burping up the crack and still
yeah,
shaking, and some of them
yeah,
are still for
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they're
So
just
what happens is we start to talk real after, after a while, we start to really be honest. And that's where the steps come in, trust God, clean house, do those steps with a sponsor and help others. But I don't know. There's
the
so
good
many
news
things that,
is that the good news is that you guys that are sitting in those chairs in those meetings or wherever or what church you're in or whatever you're doing, just the fact that you're there
that's step one.
shows something. It says that you care and that it matters and
Yeah.
that you're willing. You say it
Yeah.
might be a struggle, it might be hard, but you're there and you're willing to start. And that's where it starts. And don't look at us. Don't see us as we sit here. You have to remember, if you want what we have, you have to have gone through or got through what we went through to get here. And we went through
Many,
all.
yeah, many stages. There's many stages that, up, down, many stages of emotional stages, and it takes a lot of time. There's a process, and I'll keep saying that over and over again in these when we're talking process. It takes a long time. So as time goes on, you're going to be chewing nails some days. Everything is, but everything here. Once it's good, this too shall pass. Once it's bad, this too shall pass. There's going to be good days, bad days, but it's we're learning how to handle these things with integrity, with
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Yeah. The
So
the basics. The
yeah,
basic the basic
takes.
sounds like to don't leave before the miracle happens. Just show up. Make the phone call. Keep taking the suggestions,
Yeah,
and let somebody find somebody. And you said it last week. Said our last podcast. Find the right relationships, the right people, because it ain't so much about changing the people, places, and things on the outside.
mhm,
Even when we get on the inside, we got to be concerned about the people, places, and things that we do when we're on the inside,
yeah,
and people being a big part of it. Developing a good core of people that you want to that you can look at and want to emulate, sound good, look good,
yeah.
um, and
The
that speak into your life.
the spirit and the soul are so powerful. It's unbelievable. I never knew that me doing this for a while now, and it's been 15 years since I've, just doing the deal. However, however, the spirit and the soul, attitude is everything with me. I realize every day I wake up, and there's days that, I will call you and go, hey, and you'll just kind of like, well, what about this or what about that? And I'm like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, okay, I can deal. And so it makes me think, remember back to the basics, keeping it simple, because I can overcomplicate the crap out of everything.
So what do we
Right?
do when we're in trouble?
We pause.
We want everybody to understand that pain and mistakes are going to happen,
Yeah,
and when you find yourself in trouble, and
yeah,
you will find yourself in
yeah.
trouble, is that you cannot manage it alone. We're meant to lean up against each other.
Oh yeah,
And this is why accountability is so important. This is why getting phone numbers and dialing them and filing all the things that we hear. What do we do when we're in trouble? Because it's coming. Trouble is coming. Good times are coming. It is. We have a lot of great times.
yeah.
When trouble comes, we don't need help to get through the good times. The good times are good, and it's the bad times where we can reach out and somebody can actually speak some sense and some truth and some
Yeah,
reality,
yeah.
the goodness. If you just stick and stay, if you stay the course, don't return to the vomit, don't go back, persevere, get through it. It'll pass.
But they
And
don't realize the gift. Say, okay, so when someone calls me and when I call you, I'm helping you more than you're helping me. Like people, all right, when the guys call and they're struggling, they're helping me more than I'm helping them
oh, you're
because
letting
I
the cat
hear,
out of you're letting the cat out of the bag now. I got you.
yeah, yeah. So I'm really what it comes down to is
They're helping you more
I
than
have
you're helping them.
I have to hear these things out loud. I have to hear them. So when I'm talking to these guys and when you're talking to me, we're talking to ourselves. I know that. It's not that I don't love I love everybody, but I gotta hear this stuff. But
Yeah.
then I have to walk that walk when I'm
Well,
going through the fire myself.
that is good. That is good, and that's
I
true.
was a
And
good talker at one time, you know that, you know?
well, the thing is listen. So, and I said it before. If you don't think time matters, go get yourself some. And in that
Yeah,
time in recovery, what happens is we find out that these things, these troubles, we find out that we get through issues that are difficult. Whereas before in life, you know, we know what the MO is, guys. It's run. run,
Run.
run as fast as
Yeah.
I can away
Yeah.
from this
I don't
pain,
want to
this
deal with it.
fear. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then running ain't so bad.
Procrastination.
If I was running to go take a swim in the beach, that'd be great. But I'm running to the crack house. I'm running to get some heroin. I'm running to do some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
So
But it's
we
for one
learned that
word.
we don't have to. We can get through these troubles. We can do it. We can do it together. And it takes accountability. And that's my phone.
It's okay. Listen, I realized this today is that when things are bad, I knew how to feel better and to walk through it, but it was destruction, and that was to pick up a drink. It was in 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I was going to feel different. So now today, learning all new behavior skills, I've learned that when I'm going through the fire, I don't need to pick up and have a feeling. One word, feeling. Just it there have been
Change the way you feel.
sabotage. Yeah, there've been sabotage. Jobs, sabotage opportunities, sabotage relationships in my life for having a mind altering substance. And unfortunately, it happened. But I know today that when I am getting when things are really not going my way, and I've dealt with a lot of in the past with some things, and I was able to sit down, talk about it, right, with you. And
Yep.
even I have my sponsor. He has 43 years, and he's a retired fire chief. He's a good man,
Yeah.
and he helps me, so I'm not alone.
Yeah.
That's the gift of being in the program, or being around men that have a good foundation, is that you're not alone anymore. You can go to them and go, "Hey, I'm struggling today. Could you talk to me?"
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a sense of peace within your heart that comes.
Yeah.
You
The
feel a sense of
breakthrough is
security.
the breakthrough early on, guys, for you newcomers, is that you can realize that if you stick around and listen, that you're stronger than you think you are. You're capable of more than you believe about yourself. That you can actually get through these situations that seem like you're going to get judged, or somebody's going to make fun of you, or they're not going to accept you. What you're going to find is the opposite. You're going to
Mm,
find out when you speak up and you talk about these pains and these troubles. And it's more, listen, we're talking about hurts, habits, and hangups. We're talking about addiction to pornography, same-sex attraction. There's alcoholism, there's gambling. There's a multitude of things that people find themselves stuck in, this dysfunctional cycle. And then when they come into the recovery, they want to get help. It's so hard to speak up. It's so hard to speak out, because the fear that I'm going to be rejected or not liked is a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. And what happens is we find out that 1A, and I said it before, speak up, speak out, talk about what you're feeling, talk about what you're thinking. And what you're going to find out is that people are going to comment you on your courage, on your strength that it
mm,
takes to get honest. And you're going to find a hug, and you're going to find somebody taking your number, or even asking for your number. And this is where it all begins. It's just really, I think, honesty. They said, just as long as we can get honest, if we can get that part right and get real, we're on to something. And, we did it. We talked about them. And we're going to continue, Johnny. I mean, we keep saying it. This is some deep stuff. And there's more issues than just struggling with the something. we
yeah.
understand that we understand that those things on the outside were what we used. Okay, we used those things to fulfill and satisfy something on the inside of us that
Hmm.
was broken.
Hmm.
That's why we were there. And we found some sort of satisfaction or fix in it. And really, what you've said, and I've said before, we understand that we're sick in our souls, and
Hmm.
we really need a heart transformation.
Go back
That,
to what you just said. A sick soul. That's what I was, and I
yeah,
didn't even know it.
yeah,
And it takes time for that inside, all that gook to come out. It
yeah,
takes time, but getting and finding somebody, listening, to their walk when I came to 44th Street, 2009. It's all blurred to me. I think it was 2009, 2008, 2009. But anyways, I came there and I remember it's just you're sitting up there and there's just something that you were saying, and it was just like I just knew it was a true walk.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect, but it was attractive to like you were happy, you were like you're engaging in just helping and other people also. And then as time went on, the meetings and meetings, I'm thinking about it right now of like when we used to go to Sunrise Group back way back in the day, and I'm like,
Oh
wow,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
wow, that's where, yeah. So,
Stop
anyways,
playing God. No, really. We stop playing God. We realize that we are not God. That
mhm,
we are. We need to. We're going to stop trying to control everything. Okay, we're not God. I can't just
yeah,
fix everything by my. I can't be my own doctor and my own pharmacist. Meaning, I can't self-diagnose and then prescribe myself the remedy. I can't play God. I have to actually have hope and believe that God Himself can actually do something in me that I desire.
mm,
And really, that's freedom in the beginning, is freedom from whatever's got me in bondage. But ultimately, a heart transformation. I don't know what it takes for everybody to get to that place, but it comes
yeah,
and God gets on the inside. But we stop playing God, we develop
yeah,
hope that God
yeah,
Himself now can do something in us that we've been trying to do ourselves. And it ain't worked. It's
yeah,
been proven. It don't work. Many people have done research. They don't come back. We go to funerals. They don't come back. So we stop playing God. We get hope. We trust Him,
yeah,
and life does begin to change.
yeah.
And then you end
It's
up being
sad when you lose. It's sad when you lose somebody. I lost another guy this last 2 weeks. You know, he was doing good, and I don't know what happened, but he's not with us anymore.
I mean,
And
we're here,
you know,
Johnny. You know why we're
yeah,
here?
man.
Because we're here giving back, and we're going to give back to you guys. We
What
want
was
to
freely
give.
given to us.
We want to give back and give hope, which is the anchor of the soul, to somebody that's listening, and that's the truth. And we want you guys to know that there is another way.
There's another
Um,
way.
there's another way. Freedom is real.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the bondage breaker's
You just
real.
you just have to trust the process. That's the thing. As an alcoholic and an addict, we just I wanted it right now. I want to be fixed right now. I want it done right now. Everything has to be done, and it's not going to happen like that. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to go and unfortunately pay the piper, meaning that you're going to have to go ahead and go through these stages of emotion.
Yep.
But it's doable. That's the greatest thing about it.
Yeah.
It's just when we start taking our own will back and not calling anybody, going on our own morals, we're going to have our old behaviors. You can go wherever you want. You can move wherever you want. You're going to go wherever you go. And if you don't change your old behaviors and get with some people, because remember this, I don't know if I should say it like this, but the truth will set you free. But first, it's going to make you very mad because there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things about myself in the beginning that you used to tell me that I used to not like. I would, yeah, but I would justify it.
Yeah.
And you're like, in a
Yeah.
loving way, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, you know.
Yep. No,
But
it's hard. It's hard. It's hard for the newcomer to understand that, but it's real.
yeah,
It's
it's
real.
real, and
It's really
it's
real.
doable. It is doable.
It's doable. Identity,
Identity.
value,
Yeah.
purpose,
Yes.
potential is
Yes.
real.
Yes.
And if a couple of
100%.
clowns like you and I, eating out of a dumpster, coming out of Salvation Army,
Yeah.
and again, so you guys that are listening and watching, you're going to be able to go to our YouTube channel, and you're going to be able to see our personal short testimonies, which we're going to give. We're going to post up there, and you're going to hear the real about
Yeah.
what it was like, how we got here and what it's like now. And most people can see what it's like now. We're doing a podcast, which
Yeah.
is a dream. So dreams do come true,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
it's kind of crazy, but it really is real. And man, and I'm so grateful, so thankful, Johnny. and that this opportunity is real. It's come and it's here, and we know lives are going to be changed. Many lives are going to be changed. We're going to stick this out. We're going to go long term, and we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to hear. We're going to hear from the world, whoever's watching.
Yeah. And
And
it's
then
so, hey, listen, if you guys get mad, it's okay. We still love you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really,
It's not
there's going to be a
personal.
lot of people that, what about this and what about that? You do, and they're going to be coming at us all different directions. But here's the thing: I did it to him, he did it to someone else.
Yeah,
So it's
Yep,
nothing new to us.
yep,
This is what I know in my heart: love, compassion, grace. If
yep,
there's nothing involved in my conversations through the day, through my life, love, compassion, grace, I need to take my hands off of it,
yep,
right? And regroup.
yep. And that's kind of grown up stuff, and we get there and we learn that stuff. But most importantly, you know, come in, find your chair, stick and stay. Don't leave before the miracle happens. Stick around. Um, we're gonna get into some more real live, real talk
Yeah.
scenarios where some stuff that played out in our own lives, not
We
just in
haven't
our
even gotten
testimony.
deep.
Yep,
We
not just
we
in
haven't
there.
even got we haven't even scratched the surface of us getting deep. This is we're talking on a video, and we've
Yep,
talked, our talks are really deep, and there's no ego involved.
yep,
Glenn is not here to fix me, and I'm not here to fix him. I'm just
yep,
sharing, hey, look, this is what I got going on. And we always focus on what can we do to better our situation, like as a human being, like how can I react? How can I respond? It's
yep,
nothing about my wife or what she's doing, or we don't talk about that. There's certain things that we talk about, like, hey, I'm struggling with this or that, but we always look at what can I do different
yep,
to love on someone else, or to think of it to where I'm not getting resentment because I'm trying to control everything.
yep. Yeah. Well, the pride and the anger, the pride and the ego,
Yes.
in specifically in marriage and in all relationships, for me having to be right, and for me having to be understood by you, then understand and try to make my point known. And what I'm trying to say, I need you to hear on purpose and overtalk you, and just controlling the conversation because I need to be heard
Yeah.
and I'm important, which
Yeah.
I am important, but that is not the correct way or form of communication. That's a major defect. And
Yeah.
so we learn
Listen.
those kind of things, and they get us in trouble. We understand, and they get you in trouble. So, but there's a way out, and that's where the suggestions come in. And this is where we redirect our thinking. We call people, we reach out. Guys that have been through things understand how to correct the wrong and make it right. Able
Hmm.
to listen for a moment and then help interject the truth, or hey, how about we try it like this? And we know ways that work because we've tried them. We've gotten it wrong, and then we've learned how to get it right or make it right.
Right.
So it didn't like we're, and still, Johnny, honestly, we know, we want them to know as well. No pain free, no mistake free life don't exist. Sorry, life's a learning curve. That's the way it is. But we know
How,
now
how many
different.
years have you been married?
Man, I'm celebrating 10 years with my
Yeah.
most beautiful
Yeah.
Latin
Yeah.
queen.
Yeah. And I'll
Uh,
be celebrating. Yeah. 8 years for
Amazing.
me.
Yeah, 8 years of marriage. I mean, married?
8 years. I still
37
remember
years old,
you're
getting
like, hey, man, I'm getting married. I'm like, what? No, don't do it.
I remember.
And
Yeah,
what a
we remember
blessing.
like that. That's funny. Yeah,
He's a funny guy. He's
yeah,
amazing, puts people in our path to
yeah,
sharpen us up. I love my wife. She is a fire pistol. That
yeah.
if there's one thing I could say about my wife, it would be, um, say it was she's just honest. She's just, Oh my gosh, shit!
She
But
cuts
she
it
makes
straight,
me
bro. I know it. I know she cuts it straight. She's real.
woo.
As real as it comes, man.
She does.
And Carla's the same. She has no problem with
Yeah,
telling me exactly the way that it is.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
need to hear that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I need it. And
yeah,
so yeah, but we're blessed, brother. And so we're coming
yeah,
to the end of this video
yeah.
for now.
Hmm.
Another one. And man,
Yeah, and by the way, if you guys are listening, this is like I don't know what it was like our fourth one that we've done or something
this
like
is
that.
five. This is
Yeah,
five.
so this is five. So here's the thing. It says real talk on here now, but what's going to happen here is we are going to be changing the name a little bit, and that way it's going to target some other people that need to hear this also. So to be in the church in recovery. So just bear with us, but for the most part, man, we love you guys, and we hope and pray that
Mm,
this finds your heart to where you can just start to digest some of this stuff, that you are going to be open minded, willing, and teachable to go ahead and just to take some of these suggestions and
yeah.
try to work on changing some old behaviors and incorporating some new behaviors. And I'll leave you with this. I'm
Yep.
so grateful that the program, Celebrate Recovery, the Bible, and mostly the Bible, but here's the thing, when it combined it with my personality, what a blessing. And Glenn has seen me from where I was and where I'm
Yep.
at now.
Yep.
And he knows it's real. Otherwise I don't think we would be doing this podcast if it wasn't real. If it wasn't truly real. Because
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen some podcasts,
Yeah.
and I mean, God bless them and everything, but there's sometimes you're like, you know, you don't feel the realness.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some real stuff. So
Yep.
I don't
I
know.
heard it
That's
said
all
like
I'm.
this, and thanks, Johnny. Thanks for that. And I heard it said like this, and I'll be the first. My admission is that everything I know I've been taught or learned. Okay,
Hmm.
I am not Albert Einstein, so I have learned and acquired everything that you hear from me.
Beatings,
I learned it. I,
beatings.
I studied it. I've been through some things, and I had to apply some things. But I'll tell you this: the recovery world will bring honesty, whether it's AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery, I don't care where you are. You're going to find the ability to be raw and honest. And then when you find spirituality, or you find church, or you find Christ, and when you find Him, you find the spiritual side of. So you combine the honesty with the spiritual side, and really what you get is an identity from that, and that's where the identity starts to form, and
Hmm.
we begin to understand who we really are, whose that we really are, where we came from, why we're here, and where we're going when it's all done. It really all does start to come together, and I know that's a little advanced for the newcomer specifically,
Hmm.
but it's real, and
Yeah.
we're experiencing it, and we're going to be super excited. We want to know. We want you guys to write comments and questions. What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah.
And when we start to get those, we're going to break that thing down. We're going to go into real talk, whatever it's titled. We're going to get into it. It's going to be practical, and we want to help those that are inquiring, that want to know. So, um, man,
Yeah,
Johnny,
man.
once again, it's a pleasure always.
Always, brother.
We'll do the outro for everybody, and
Yeah.
like we normally do, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have those
These,
capable. We have those
yeah.
capable. Say it.
These are probably all going to change later on too. There's going to be some things that we're gonna tweak, and
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
we're learning as we go, man. I don't know. God's put it on our hearts, so we're just trying to make sure that
We got
I
to
don't
get the
know.
word. We're gonna get the good word out, man.
Yeah.
It's doable. It's all doable. So we
Yeah.
love you all. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody for taking part in and watching our podcast. Real talk. We're elated to have kicked this off and got it started. We're hoping that it was beneficial for you. We also hope that if there's anybody else that you may know that would be interested or would be helpful for, to pass that info along so that they can as well get something from that. So go over to the YouTube channel. You can find us, Real Talk with Glenn and John, and you can leave your comments, your questions. We want to know. We want to know what you have to think. We want to know what you have to say, and we want to talk about those issues. So head on over there and stay tuned. We're gonna get real, and we're gonna keep it real. And we're super excited. And thanks for taking part.